Hey guys, this is SF, and today it is going to be my water box. So continuing on to my box show and tell, and here's my water. Sadly, for most people, water I think is my worst element in my box, just because I don't have any of the OPs, either Rolf, D'Artagnan, or Susano. I don't have those. I don't even have those three. But I do have a lot of things covered in terms of hazards. So Lancelot, I have 3 Lancelots. This one is my oldest one, I think, or the one that I transcended first. So no damage wall, no warp, and then 4 turn that can bypass blocks, which is basically making him a no block monster, and also basically making him a no magic circle monster as well, if you just keep on using that strike shot. In terms of berries, I have him in knockout S plus. Kind of want to switch it just because lately knockout is not that favored in a lot of dungeons, just because there's a lot of skull gimmicks, and if you knock out one of those monsters that have a skull hazard and then they die, then the skull does not proc. In some cases it's really good because, you know, if it works on like what you call it, I don't think it works on Akala, but you know, like for those types of things, whether it's like attack deep or like Takayasha's like explosion, you can knock out that. But recently those skull hazards give you buffs, so I don't really like knockout on my monsters, but I might keep it here for now. I do have a second Lancelot, and I do have one ascended somewhere. Where is he? Yeah, I have one ascended here. If you're wondering why this one is not transcended and the other one is, because I totally forgot I have 3 Lancelots, and I don't really want to make 3 Lancelots because that's a waste of divine shells and gems. I don't really have a lot of divine shells. I went on a evolution spree after my legends hatching for Pandora, so I haven't done much about it. But in terms of other hatcher monsters, I guess good ones that I have: Hyoga, no damage wall, no gravity barrier, and the blast type of the breath. It's very strong if you get close. Another monster I use relatively frequently is Nono Alpha, just because she has a powerful bump combo. I used her in my Izanami farming. She was my Izanami monster. Other monsters, in terms of tower, of course, Uesugi Kenshin, probably my most used one. I used her in pretty much everything except for, in all the fire ones except for 31st, just because that's a no gravity barrier dungeon. But yeah, that's basically my most used water in terms of tower. Second most used, probably Guan Yu. Probably not, but like I use him in 26th floor, just because he slays Captain Mika on there. And then 36th floor I use Sinbad. I think I use him in 21. I use him in 21 and 36. 21 and 36. Just because 36 wise, you can, especially for the last bar for Izanami, he goes close to the wall, and then there are blocks you can use that to proc his bump, his strike shot, which is really good. And I usually pair his blast bump with a Ralph from my friend slot, and that's a lot of damage in general. Some monsters that are really good but I don't really use, number 1 is probably Mothra and Rei. Minesweeper recovery, very good for Izanami 0, but I don't really use her for Izanami 0. I use like Loki's and stuff like that. And then her strike shot is a meteor style. She's not really good for farming, just because that meteor is relatively long in terms of animation, but everything else is really good. You know, EX Laser XL, defense up, and then she has a synchro to save off damage and stuff like that. I think she's my less used monster, but it's actually very good. And I have 4 Kales. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to ascend one of them, just because it has double nulls and stuff like that, but I probably won't use her anyways. Sirius actually got a buff, I think. Got a power buff and an HP buff, if I remember correctly. And let's see, Atlantis was relatively okay. Fire resistance, I think that got added on recently, so pretty good for Arcadia. Just takes in less damage from fire attacks. And then the 4-turn is also good. I got an extra one from Legend Hatcher, Yata Garasu. This is the evolution. Works very well. If I'm using him in Avalon, if I use him in Avalon, then I bring Captain America, just because the speed up is really good with Captain America. For Captain America, is a strike shot. You know, the faster you go or the longer you go, the more damage that shield does. And then the strike shot is also good for, you know, pinching those Donatellos or whatever you need. And then speaking of Captain America, just really good. I probably don't need that strike haste on him, but I'm really lazy in berry farming. Very lazy in berry farming. Epica, you know, very strong. I did luck 90 her, plasma, and then 2-turn delay, my super no warp. Basically, the my super no warp version of Leviathan. So, and she was relatively easy to make it luck 90. You can probably do it within 20 shots, in my opinion, 20 to 30 shots, and then you can get a luck 90 of her. And then the cute Queen Butterfly, Karage. I kind of want to give her a berry. I do have another max luck Queen Butterfly, but that is the, I think that's the RD version. I do have one in the festival version. Where's the festival version? Where are you, festival version? Do I not have you favorited? That is really bad of me. That is really bad of me. Yes, I did not favorited her. I do have a luck, max luck, and 84 on her. I'll probably finish her again, maybe sometime in the near future. And then Sky Armor, really good. I used him. He's really good for Nirvana. So if you don't have good Nirvana monsters like Noah or Nanami, then you know Sky Armor is really good. In terms of max luck monsters, if you see my fire the first video, I use Eva 13 a lot because he was one of my first max luck monsters. So, and he helped me spring shot me to Ghoulie, like Takayasha Ghoulie, like those types of monsters relatively quickly. So I used him a lot in terms of like farming and stuff like that. Monsters I don't use is Aqua, just because of low stats and only one no. Sherbert, I want to ascend him because Ascend has the command strike shot. Blue Monday, I haven't really found a use of him yet because I don't really need him for Yamato Takeru 0 because I have other monsters for that. As Simayi, one of my recent favorites just because of the meteor destruction. I also like meteor destruction, especially on the in the sub bump combo, because it actually has more use than most other sub bumps, besides like blast and maybe defense up. But defense up is relatively meh in the reduction if it's in the sub bump combo. But I used him in Akasha for max luck. Toguro, 100%. I know a lot of people don't have him, and just because he is a very hard dungeon, I have a survivor on him. Is it survivor? Yeah, survivor. And very good for Avalon. Hopefully I'll bring like, you know, this guy, Simai, some other like, and I guess like you know, First Empress, and then do like a full farmable party, because those three together can basically clear it. And maybe the last monster will be Lilith. and then like these 4 monsters can probably deal a good amount of damage, and you don't need like a Yamato Takeru in there. And for Toguro 100%, you can of course use the 80%. I don't think I kept the 80%. Did I kept the 80%? Yeah, I did kept 80% in terms of just the base if I really want to keep that. But most of the max luck for water I don't really use that much. Like I kept Oruga, I didn't farm the Ascend version for max luck, but I did max luck this one. Other farm, like I did this just because it was from the Godzilla Shell Hatcher, and I haven't found a use of that for him yet. Like a power type and a flame question mark. But if you know me, that I just max luck whatever I can max luck, and if I have the time and stuff like that. But yeah, recent edition Izumo from my Legend Hatcher craziness. And I think the most memorable was I was farming this girl. This is Ra and 6 Angel from the Evil collaboration, and this was right after, like, she came out right after Avalon came. So I was like, holy crap, I need a no warp monster that is a bounce, that is water, and she works perfectly, right? Really good. Although strike shot is meh, but as long as you pinch well, then you don't really have to do strike shots and stuff like that. And then a month later, in December, first Empress came, and I was like, no. And at that time, I wasn't really into max lucking. It was only relatively recent, like the last, probably in 2016, I started like max lucking stuff. But this was like first Empress was released in 2015 December or November or somewhere around that time, and I was like, no. And then I max luck first Empress because, you know, I needed a Avalon max luck, and she works definitely better than Raw there. And I guess the most, in terms of power in max luck land, is probably Lupin and his gang of Goemon and what's the top hat guy's name? Goemon. Somebody's gonna like flame me because I forgot Lupin's lore and characters. But just because of the strike shot, disguises himself. And then for people who don't know, there is a bug. I don't know if they fixed it yet, but I might want to try it out later on in the near future. But if you disguise, you know, for like any monster, so if you disguise Lupin and it's only Hanzo for some reason, it's only Hanzo, and basically he disguises into Hanzo, and then Hanzo has a strike shot reducer on his base. So you use the strike shot reducer onto like just like hit it to decrease his cooldown. His strike shot comes back up instantly. Like there's that glitch. I don't know if it actually works. It has been a while. It's been like at least a month, and it has been reported in the depths of Monster Strike community. So it might have been fixed, but you can go try it out if you have a Hanzo, translated Hanzo. And then some other things I really want to work on is Sinbad. I want to ascend him at least. He has been staying there at level 1 and at 5-star relatively for a long time. It has been like a few months since I rolled him. But other than that, my water monsters are like this. Like recent one, Poseidon. Tried to use him in Arcadia. Worked okay, but wasn't really OP in my opinion. Like his meteor can't one-shot any of the monsters there. Like any of the mobs. Like even the small mobs, he can't one-shot with the meteor. So, but you kind of want one Pierce monster for that dungeon. So I don't know. And then I guess 31 monster, 31 floor monster for the Tower Iris. I have 2 of her. Happy to get 2 of her. So that's really good. I guess some forgotten max lucks that you might want, but you know, I don't really use is this guy, Goldie and Baldy. Just because he has two nulls, no damage wall, no warp, you can use him in Avalon, you can use him in Ashot if you really want to. And then Strike Shot is a counter mode, so it's not that bad of a Strike Shot. And Spread Piercer XL3 for the bump. So not bad, but I don't see much use. I don't use him that much for most of the dungeons that are out there. Because I guess most recently, like the fire ones, like Fixel was a no gravity barrier dungeon. And then I guess Mary was a no damage wall, no warp, but I forgot who I used in terms of. I used Sima Yi because I can get away from the no damage wall relatively easily in that dungeon. So that's one monster you can, if you really want to focus on like a strong water monster, then this guy is really good. Especially if you have like a Hunter King or Robin Hood. This dungeon is really easy. Or even a Mamo, relatively easy. You know, it's all about pinching. If you're good at pinching, then this guy's okay. And then Yamato no Orochi, not that great, but it's also a pinching dungeon. And I think his Ascended form has some nulls in it. Has no wind, no warp, and a bounce monster. But he also has what you call it, Ognom with X Strike Shot. So if you want that, then by all means, and then Poison Mist. Not that great of a bump combo, but you know, if you, this is another pinching dungeon, so if you have Robin Hood's Apollo X, and it's a no gravity barrier dungeon as well, so if you want, like, if you're good at pinching, then this guy is also really good for an easy max lock, in my opinion, for you to use, for you to make. Other than that, you know, the easy ones, you know, the Queen Butterflies, if you want a no gravity barrier monster. And a flight, so it's either Goldie, Baldy, or Queen Butterfly. I think Goldie, Baldy is not in the library? Question mark. I know Yamato no Orochi is in there, but Goldie, Baldy is not in there. It's not in there. But you know, if he's up, then by all means try to go for it. For max lock, I really like it, but I don't really see much use. I don't use them that much just because I have a lot of different ones. If you don't have a lot of max locks, then of course go for that. Go for monsters that have two nulls, and you can probably take them anywhere. And then Goldie Baldy is just good all around. No real demerits, just not really. It's just average on everything, but has two nulls, which is also good. But that's pretty much my water box. And I talked for a long time, but that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.